Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chas here. The lab coat's on back order, and I'm bringing you week 4 of our live Wi-Fi matches using Pokemon X. So for this week, what I'm going to do is, like I did before, going to cycle out the Pokemon who won from the last week. Going to put some new ones in their place. So that being said, since our little Gen 1 starter, Shelbert the Squirtle, won his match, I'm going to put him in the winner circle, set him off to the side, and we're going to advance into the next generation. I'm going to use Snapper, my Totodile, which was my Johto starter. So, problem with Snapper is he is not nearly as defensive as Shelbert was. He's focused more on the strategy of trying to get some speed and some flinching on. So, he's not really going to be able to take a hit that well. So let's see who we can bring to the team to try and help Snapper get through to the winner circle. So returning to the field of battle this week is Rocky the Sandslash from Kanto, along with Witwicky the Chandelure from the Unova region. So I already mentioned them in last week's video. If you want some more details, check out that video and see what these guys are all about. Let's get to the new guys. First is Snapper the Totodile from Johto, my starter from Professor Elm. And his whole thing here, I'm going to try to slow the opponent down using his last move there, Scary Face, and using Waterfall and Ice Fang to try and get some flinches off here. Now, I do know he's not really that well defensive. His defense stats are 144 and 145 for physical and special. Now, the reason for that reason, I have him holding the Focus Sash to try and, make sure he can survive at least one hit. Because if we're lucky, we can get the opponent slowed down with Scary Face, then the Torrent ability will kick in, making Waterfall that much more powerful. And if we're lucky, we can get some flinches off, and maybe Snapper can win a victory there. Adding to the team as well is Snoozer the Snorlax, caught back in Kanto, the first of the 2 Snorlax that I woke up with the Poke Flute, and he's actually seen a lot of good battles over the different generations here. He's pretty good offensively. I've built up his attack stat here. He's got Body Slam for nice stab power, plus the ability to cause paralysis. Earthquake is good to handle steel types that are resistant to Body Slam. Crunch is good for the ghost types that are immune to Body Slam, and Rest is just a nice simple recovery attack there. I did give him the Chesto Berry. I know sometimes people will run a Lum Berry, which will cure any status condition, but I kind of want to make sure that we're only going to heal the sleep with the Chesto Berry, because if Snoozer gets poisoned, I can use Rest, get back all the HP, cure the poison, and then wake up from sleep. Whereas if he has the Lum Berry, the moment he gets poisoned, he'll eat that berry and cure the poison, not getting any HP recovery. So that's why I choose to run the Chesto Berry instead. Next is Stinger the Beedrill, caught way back in Viridian Forest back in Kanto. And I'm really impressed with this guy. Not a lot of people put a lot of faith into the early bug Pokemon like Butterfree and Beedrill, but back in the Diamond and Pearl Battle Tower, my Beedrill here, Stinger, has actually defeated Reggie Ice, Reggie Rock, and Reggie Steel by himself. Now, it was a lot of luck on our part, I will say. The way it works is I use Endure to ensure that Stinger will survive any attack with 1 HP. On the next turn, I use Endeavor to bring the target down to 1 HP. Now, generally what would happen is the computer would then use some sort of like a stat move like Iron Defense or something, boost their defense. Once they're lowered down to 1 HP, we could then just hit them with Twin Needle and knock them out. Originally he had Brick Break back in the day, which was super effective against all 3 of them. I've decided to give him Drill Run right now to help him with his Rock and Fire weakness. And just it's good for power as well. Now I also have him holding the Salac Berry, because as soon as he gets down to 1 HP with Endure, Salac Berry will activate, his speed will then just increase, which his speed is almost already the maximum of what a Beedrill can possibly have. But a little more speed never hurts. And I do have him maxed out with, maybe not maxed out, but I have him boosted up in attack stat. And the Swarm ability will power up Twin Needle if he does get down to 1 HP with Endure. Now the final new addition to the team is Axl the Roserade. Before I say anything else, I want you to watch this video here. Now, that was a Volcarona Heat Wave, boosted by going after 1 target, not 2 in the double battle, and Axl survived it. There was no light screen up, there was nothing. Just his basic special defense saw him through that hit, and I was totally impressed. Like, I knew the potential judge told me that Axl has highest possible IVs for special defense. He's also got a nature that boosts special defense, and I decided to max out his super training and special defense as well. So he has the highest possible special defense that a Roserade can have at 339, but I still didn't think he was going to survive a Volcarona's fire move. So anyways, for his moveset, we have Shadow Ball. I gave him that because I've also maxed out his special attack stat at 337, and it helps against his weakness of Psychic Pokemon, and it also hits just every other type except for normal. Now, for the rest of the Pokemon that he will be facing, we have Toxic and Venom Drench. They're going to sort of work hand in hand. Toxic, of course, as everyone knows, is a status that damages HP with increasing damage each turn. Venom Drench is actually a pretty cool move that, if the opponent is poisoned, it will lower the attack, special attack, and speed of a poisoned opponent. Now, Axl's ability is also Poison Point, which means if someone hits him with a physical move, which they're probably going to try to do since his special defense is so high, Poison Point might poison the opponent. Venom Drench will help in that case as well. And Aromatherapy, I put on Axl here because I didn't have a Pokemon on my main team that could heal my team. If half my team was paralyzed or burned or something, I just had to sort of, work with that. But fortunately, Aromatherapy will heal my guys of all those kind of status things. And for HP recovery, he did used to know Mega Drain, but I thought I'm going to just have him hold the Black Sludge to recover each turn. And if we do poison the opponent and lower their attack stats using Venom Drench, eventually they're not going to be doing very much damage anyway, so Black Sludge could heal off whatever damage he takes in return. So that's the team there. We're going to take a look at their IVs, EVs, and Natures right now. So here's just a brief recap of the IV, EV spread and the Natures from two of my guys last week. You can see Rocky here, maxed out in attack and speed, and impish little Witwicky. We've got the defenses boosted up with some HP and a little special attack. So checking out the new guys, here we have Snapper the Totodile with a mild nature, which boosts his special attack stat. Of course, we're not focusing on special attack for this little guy here. He does have max IVs for speed, and I wanted to sort of play into that a little bit, so I gave him a good amount of EV training, super training, to go with his speed stat. Also in the interest of kind of slowing people down with his Scary Face attack and being able to go first. So in best situation, we'll need to use one Scary Face, and then he'll be outspeeding the opponent. And I wanted to boost his defenses and try and even them out a little bit. I wanted to give him a nice kind of a round number of attack, and as round as I could get, it came to 201, so I put the rest of the IVs into his defenses. Here we have our quirky Snorlax, Snoozer, quirky being a neutral nature, so nothing is boosted by it. He does have max IVs for speed, but Snorlax are usually not known for speed, so I didn't really bother worrying about that too much. I wanted to give him physical attack stats for the most part, because he has Earthquake, Body Slam, and Crunch. No need for special attack. And I also wanted to try to even his defenses out, but sadly it took pretty much all the remainder of the IVs, or I keep saying IVs, all the remainder of his EVs in super training to get his defense near what his special defense is naturally. So the rest I just put back into his HP here. Now Stinger, the hasty Beedrill, he has max IVs for defense, but defense, kind of like speed with the Snorlax, defense is not the best thing for Beedrill. It's not their strongest stat. So I didn't worry too much about that. I gave him maxed out speed and attack, and from the research I've done, apparently the highest possible speed a Beedrill could have with max IVs and nature boosting, because Hasty does boost the speed stat, 273 is the highest, and we're only 4 shy of that, so Stinger is almost as fast as he can possibly be. Now, the attack stat is nice at 277, and since I wanted to sort of, I like to try to even out the defenses for my Pokemon if I can't think of anything else to do with their super training. So I gave him as much as I could into the physical defense, since it is his max IV. And take a look at Axl the Roserade. Now, you saw how he could take that Heat Wave from Volcarona. He has a Calm Nature, which boosts special defense, and he has 3 maximum IVs here. Attack, speed, and special defense. Now, the attack one not that important here because, of course, he's more on the special attack side. You can see the difference, 337 to 158. So I wanted to maximize his special attack and special defense, and it looks like I put the rest of the super training into his defense there, just since his physical defense is really low. But this guy can be a beast when he gets into battle. Alright, so those are the EVs and stat screens from my Pokemon. Let's get into a match. My opponent has been chosen from Minnesota in the United States, Aiden. And he's bringing to the field a Mawile, Rotom Wash, Talonflame, Garchomp, Gardevoir, and Meowstic. So we see some good mega potential on the opponent's side here. 3 potentials here. I shall start with... I'm going to bring in Snapper for starter, see if we can get him a victory here. And we do have some potential electric to worry about coming from that Rotom. I'm going to bring Rocky as well, but I'm going to keep him in reserve. And if we see the opponent starts with Rotom, I'm going to swap Rocky in place of Snapper. So, who else to start with? I think a good lead would be my Snorlax as well, Snoozer. Third choice would be Rocky, as I said. Fourth shall be... I don't think Roserade is good in this situation. There's a lot of potential counters against him. 2 Psychic and a Fire Flying. And that being said, Beedrill is kind of in the same situation there. So I'm going to bring Witwicky the Chandelure. We're going to give it our all. So either Mega Mawile, Mega Garchomp, or Mega Gardevoir we're going to have to watch out for. The battle is up. Chaz versus Aiden. Rocking the nice blue cap there with the sunglasses. Pretty styling. Alright, Snapper and Snoozer. Facing off against Meowstic and Mawile. I love the alliteration in this situation. Okay, so I just dropped my stylus. There it is. Now, we know Mawile is probably pretty slow anyway. We're actually going to try to slow it down even more. And that will be Snapper's target. The Meowstic, we're going to go with a nice crunch attack from Snoozer. Here comes Mega Mawile to the field. Nice do. Okay, so protect. Alright, not a problem. Safeguard, so we're not going to be able to inflict any status conditions on the opponent. But we are going to be able to crunch it. And good damage on that. So let's again try to go for a scary face on Mawile. And since we're holding Focus Sash on Snapper, I can risk an Earthquake from Snoozer. Swagger comes in to boost Mega Mawile's attack stat. That's a clever strategy, using the Safeguard to keep from confusing your teammate. Speed has been lowered here. Now player up against Totodile. Sorry, Snapper. Ooh. Okay. Focus Sash did activate, but the Earthquake is going to take him down. Although we do take the Meowstic down in the process as well. So we're going to want to get something in here fast enough to hit this Mawile pretty hard. If I had brought my... What am I thinking there? Beedrill. That would have been pretty good. Now, play rough, fairy type move. We're going to bring in Witwicky the Chandelure. And Talonflame comes into play as well. Now, we can use an Earthquake because the air balloon will keep Witwicky safe. Of course, if the Talonflame goes after him, it's going to pop that air balloon. But either way, we're going to go Shadow Ball against Talonflame. We're going to try another... I was gonna body slam Mawile for paralysis, but the Safeguard is up, so that's not gonna do a thing. Go for a basic Earthquake attack. Brave Bird does connect against the Snorlax, who easily shrugs it off. So this worked out really well because... Not quite. Okay, so Sucker Punch takes down my Chandelure. Either way, even if it didn't knock him out, the air balloon would have popped, the Earthquake would have taken him down anyhow. So Talonflame is immune to this, of course. I'm just going to get an Earthquake against Mawile, which does take their Mega Pokemon down. Now we're in an interesting situation here. Rocky does have Rock Slide to try and take that Talonflame out. Both both sides are down to their last 2 Pokemon. We've got Gardevoir and Talonflame. So now Gardevoir has Thick Fat, which means fire and ice attacks are less effective against the Gardevoir here. If Rocky can take a hit, he's going to get a good Rock Slide off against that Talonflame. We're going to use Rest for Snoozer to try and heal him back up. Another Brave Bird connects against Rocky with a critical hit. Ooh, okay, that's going to make a difference in this fight here. So Psychic is going to target Snoozer, which means Rocky will survive the hit and get the Rock Slide off. It's alright, we didn't really want to take you down, Gardevoir. We're aiming at someone else here. Talonflame is down. Now, Snoozer gets the rest off, which he does. He's going to heal up all the way here. My next idea, I'm going to try to use Body Slam to paralyze that Gardevoir. Chesto Berry brings Snorlax back up to battle readiness. Now, there's not much Rocky's going to be able to do. I'm just going to try Rock Slide anyhow. And Body Slam, hope for paralysis. Okay, another Psychic attack against Snoozer, which he easily shrugs off, and a Rock Slide comes in. Almost half damage. Let's see if Body Slam puts up the KO here. And it does. Alright, guys. Whew, that was looking a little dicey for a while there, but you guys did it. You pulled through. Victory. 2-0. Nice work, guys. So Snapper and his buddies managed to get themselves a victory against the opponents and earn their spot in the green, glowy victory circle thingy. I was a little worried when Mega Mawile hit the field, so turn 1, but apparently we did manage to make it through, and I'm pretty impressed that we managed to get that scary face off when we did. At least, Snapper did something in the fight. Don't know, how much it was useful for the whole thing, but anyways, we have a victory for one of our unevolved Pokemon. Now, what I'm going to do is continue the tradition of featuring my starters from each generation in these battles, which means next week is going to be my starter from the Hoenn region, Skippy the Swampert. So let's see what the water and ground type Pokemon can do next week with a new cast of characters, and I'll probably return I'll bring back my Roserade, Axl, as well as, who else did I bring I didn't use? I forget, but the 2 that I didn't use this week I'm probably going to bring back for next week as well, joining with Swampert and a few other guys from my team. If you have any requests for who you want to see in next week's battle, leave me a comment down below, and I'll include them in the team there. We'll see what we can do for a victory. Alright, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll catch you next time.